We are back at it again today in China. We are gonna race at China's actually first official racetrack tonight. We're racing in the AOR GT3 league. AOR is an organization where you can race with us. Please come visit us on the forums. These are the tiers in the GT3 league. As you can see, there are 4 tiers. We're gonna race in the Pro League today. That's where we're gonna watch from. Some information about the drivers. Actually, from some really interesting things happened from last race. Actually, Ironic has been dethroned. Scott is now the leader with 212 points, and I believe Ironic had to retire in round 6. Round 6 was last round in Long Beach. Ironic actually qualified for pole, and we can see he's not on the finishing. There he is, 19th, did not finish. So this has put Scott in the lead. You can see Scott 3rd, and then did not finish on Ironic. And then we have these guys are the titans of this league. They have so many points. And then we have a battle for 3rd. And Nagrom, actually a substitute driver, I think. He didn't race in the first race. He's actually a really good driver. He's actually managed to catch 3rd from, I believe it was Lusty who had 3rd, as he finished 1st in the last race. As we can see here, Nagrom in 1st, with Dawu 2nd. I believe Nagrom is a solo driver, so he doesn't have a team. Because of Scott's good finish in 3rd, he put the what's his team again? BMW Turner Sports. Scott's teammate is Lusty, I believe. As you can see, the Scott in 1st and Lusty in 4th. Both teammates, so they really strong team. They have 337 points, and then we have the Renaults of Marvin and Ironic. And then we have Ironic in 2nd, Marvin in 11th. Marvin having some issues, maybe a little bit inconsistent, finishing 3rd, 23rd in lap 3. I mean round 3. Oscar Esports. As you can see, the BMWs are far into the lead now. It's gonna be hard to catch them, maybe even impossible, if Scott and Lusty are as consistent as they are. 3rd place, I believe it's Dawu and the Shooter, 189 points, having a battle for 3rd with the Velocita Corsa, which is Shaggy Dan and where is Shaggy Dan? He's in 6th. Oh, I can't see I can't remember his teammate right now. Anyway, okay, so let's go in game. I have to excuse my ghetto setup here. That's the wrong one. This is the one I want. Dakusa the first to set a lap time. Let's see if I have actually managed to fix my issues from last time with the alt-tabbing issue. I think it's fine now. Okay, nice. Good to see you, David Ben. I have to check my stream is working. It seems like it's working. Perfect. Okay, so nice. Okay, so the guys are putting in their first hot laps right now. Okay, so this track is actually the first official motorsport track in China that's was sanctioned for FIA racing. There we have actually Ironic putting a 133 with Bo actually in front, 133 as well. Wow, they are really close. Lusty actually come in 3rd, Scott in 4th. Let's go on board with Ironic to see if he can put in a better lap time. Can I remove this? Oh, apparently you can't while you're broadcasting. Okay, so the guys in chat are talking about an issue with the PS4 with the new patch. Regarding the new patch, good thing you said that. The new patch has arrived, and it seems like the Renaults are having a little bit of change. As Ironic, I believe, said on the forums, he felt that the car was more oversteery, more loose on the end, and that was... so many, I think we have 4 yellow BMW, so I can't even tell who it was. Actually, Ironic managing to put it on pole with a 132, actually really impressive. Let's see if Bo can make it. Seems like he had a little slowdown there, so he might not be able to improve on his lap time this round, lap at least. Where's the Renault? I can't even find... excuse me, I have to look a little bit for some stats here. There we go. Okay, so actually the lap record, I believe actually Ironic just beat the lap record. Might not be... I looked up the lap record for a BMW, it was 132.6, so Ironic actually putting in 132.4. That's really impressive. Wow, BMW loose on the rear end there. And there I believe we have Touring's Audi behind. One of the Audis at least. Pao again on a hot lap. Will he be able to catch up to Ironic? And actually the Audis are going to be faster at this track compared to the other races that we've had in this league, because of the lower sea level. It's going to be more oxygen in there, more power for the naturally aspirated Audi. So maybe some of the Audis will finish higher up today. So actually this track was... motorsport started in Zhuhai in 1993. It was actually a street circuit to begin with, and then racing continued until 1996 when the motor racing circuit was constructed. And it actually became the China's first permanent motor racetrack, so... It's actually designed with Formula 1 in mind as well. I'll put up the map so you can see on the map here, I can... Oh, Bo spinning, smashing his Ferrari into the dirt. Let's see if Scott is able. He actually really consistently qualifies in 5th and around that position. Might just be a super consistent driver compared to... actually, I think he should be able to improve on this time, I think. Or Ironic just set a record-breaking lap. That's incredible. Right, so what I was talking about, if you guys want to join the next season, we're over halfway in this season now, so if you want to join the new season, please visit us on at our forum. I believe the bot is spamming the chat right now with the link to the forum, so... Yeah, Tim or so as I guess you were talking about Scott there. Yeah, he's really fast in the race. So I want to go back to the leaderboard just for a second. So as I was talking about Scott and Ironic being so far ahead in the points, that 1 second and first, I just heard some screeching. Okay, was it BMW? Second and first place is almost locked out by Ironic and Scott, so it's going to be a battle for third. That's going to be interesting to see tonight. So Nagrom, which is in third in the championship, he's not going to be able to race this this round. So Lusty, which is in fourth, might be able to take his place. Lusty actually have been in every race so far, so we might actually get a new third place contender tonight. And then we have John Beauregard, which is the guy we're watching right now, in fifth. John Beauregard isn't as far as... actually not so far off third place either, so it might... if John and Lusty fight it out tonight, we might see one of them in third. And then the team championship, I need to find out who Shaggydan's teammate is. I believe it's Clown. Is he here tonight? Can't seem to find him. I just checked. Okay, so Clown isn't racing tonight either. So I think the third place for the... let me check. Yeah, third place for the grey BMWs are out of reach, I think. And where is Shaggydan? Let's see if we can find him. There he is. And then we have the BMWs of Brauwelt Racing, which has where is he? Ricky. I believe Ricky has been put out of the leaderboards. I can't find him. Yeah, anyway, so a good lap around this track would be a 132, 131, around that area. A 131 is actually really good by Ironic there. I think I might have had a timing bug because suddenly he has set a 132.4, so either it was just me not seeing correctly. I thought he said a 131. Where is Scott? There he is. Oh, Scott just spinning out in qualifying, almost hitting Ironic in the snout, it seems. Yeah, so this track has, as you can see, I can put up the track layout so you can see better. This is the track, that's not the right track layout. I have to update it. I believe this is the right track layout. As you can see, it has a lot of straights. It was then designed with Formula 1 in mind, so I think we're gonna have a lot of... might have some high-speed overtaking action going on. And the guys think that a lot of the drivers think that the turn 1, as you can see from the start-finish line, it's a double right-hander, so it's a bit hard to control the car through there and get a good exit for the straight afterwards. So might have some shady passes there. 9 is a really brutal kink to the left. Might be it's really hard to see the braking points as well. So we might have some incidents coming through. It's gonna be interesting to see. I don't think we have any of the Mercedes drivers, as everyone changed if they were a Mercedes driver, I think they changed because the car wasn't competitive in this patch. So I believe they've changed their cars, and now with the new patch, I believe that some might actually change it back, as it might be competitive. So it seems like the qualifying is now over. Actually, Ironic putting it on pole again. I don't think he's been. Let me check. I can check if he's. I believe he's been on pole for every round up to here. Actually, no. Round 3, Ironic qualified in 4th. Otherwise, he's been on pole all of the rounds. So he's just so fast. Definitely gonna watch out for him if he gets passed by someone. Some of the BMW drivers actually talking about how their car has so much power and a little bit of less grip at the rear, it seems. So a little bit oversteer at times. Lusty coming in for his final hot lap. Can he improve? Seems he won't be able to improve, so he is probably gonna go back to pits. Here comes Bo. Yeah, he's on a hot lap still. Let's see if Eidolon in the beautiful Lamborghini, I love that sound. He went in. Dakusa just passing the start finish line, not able to improve. Okay, maybe I should bring down the track layout now. Okay, so as you might be familiar with, in AOR we don't like to use the AI for AI information lap. So when the race starts now, we're not gonna go at green. We're not gonna go on green. The guys are gonna do a formation lap, and they're gonna form. I can't really tell where the formation point is. If I look on the track layout, I believe it's. Looks really much like turn 9, so they're gonna have a long way to go until the acceleration zone, which is here, and between the green lines, Ironic can start the race whenever he wants, and when he accelerates off, that's gonna start the race. Now, as we can see, the guys are just selecting their race setups and pit strategies. Managed to put on my Spotify, didn't mean to do that. Ironic is in sec. What the hell happened now? Actually, Turing in second. Wow, I actually did not catch Turing getting into second place. That's actually really impressive. As I said, the Audi might actually be faster in this track because of the lower sea levels, higher oxygen, more power in the car, naturally aspirated. Turing in second. Scott in third. Scott having a really good place now, as Scott is just such a terrific driver. Actually, if he has an incident though, that might actually give Ironic an opportunity to catch up to him in points, since Ironic had to leave last lap. Last round. John in 4th. John consistently qualifying in 4th and staying in 4th place. Bo in 5th. Lusty in 6th. I believe Lusty is Scott's teammate that we can see up to the left. Tawu. Marvin. Then we have a pit pointer in the track, that's very good. So you can hear Eidolon revving his beautiful V10 engine. Marvin is Ironic's teammate, as we can see. Ironic is taking off now, trying to get some heat into his tires. as they go for the formation lap. Ironic is a VR driver, so that might contribute to his extremely fast pace. Going through the field, we have there, as I talked about, Marvin, Ironic's teammate, and then Eidolon, which I believe is a solo driver in the Lamborghini. Then we have WMDR Martin, which is a pad racer, I think. He has amazing car control considering how he's on pad. If we go on board with him, I think we can see, you can see that steering wheel just... Yeah, that steering wheel is really twitchy, so he's on pad right now. There we have Shaggydan without his teammate Clown, which could make it today, so Shaggydan is actually a fast driver. I didn't expect him to qualify in 11th. So we might see some battles from him, trying to catch up to the guys in front. There, Chris. I have to check if he has a teammate, I can't remember. I don't think he has a teammate now, so there Chris is a solo driver, I believe. Hopefully you can correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have Evidence in the Ferrari. And there we have reached the formation point, so now the guys are gonna line up one by one. 2 by 2, I mean, sorry. With the Touring a little bit in front of Ironic, that's not right. And there we go, the guys are now... We are reaching, I believe we are in the acceleration zone now, so now Ironic can start the race whenever he wants. And I believe he's off. I can hear his engine going off. And now we can see, let's go on board with Lusty to see the first corner if they can manage. Actually Scott going on the inside there, keeping it tight. Let's go back and see. I believe Boratis and Takusa. Boratis might have had some contact with one of the Ferraris there, a little rub. And then we can see Dawu. Has he damaged his car? No, he's fine. I think he did, just took it easy. Let's check it out. Turing is in third. Been overtaken by Scott already. Scott on the inside, taking Turing. Then we have the train with Lusty and also let's go on board again with their Chris to see the action in front. Lusty going outside. Oh, Lusty getting really loose. They're crashing his car. Let's see if... Oh my days. Sorry for the skipping, and we have another BMW that's spin out. It was Martin, unfortunately. And there we have Boratis going off. Hopefully they will make it back in time. Hopefully not too much damage. And I believe Matster has spun as well. Yes, there we have him. A bit of a wrecked hood as well. So might lose a lot of front downforce there. Hopefully it's not too bad. Lusty actually pitting because of too much damage. That's really unfortunate for him. That's actually going to be a huge upset in the team standings if he will not be able to reach the end of the race. I believe Eidolon is battling hard with Shaggydan in front. As we have him, we can... there's actually so many battles going on right now. Actually seeing some aggressive driving from Shaggydan there, looking on the inside of Evidence, trying to make him make a mistake. I'm checking chat for a second. Yeah, as you mentioned in the chat, Ironic Delta is just going to get bigger and bigger. If he gets in front with pole position, oh, a lot of guys actually. Shaggy Dan, really aggressive there, just filling. Who is it? They're Chris's rearview mirror. Yeah, these, as I mentioned, Shaggy Dan qualifying in 11th. He is a fast driver, so he will have to battle with these guys to catch up. Actually, moving from 11th up to 9th in the first lap of the race. And I believe we might have some side-by-side action. They're going 3 wide. Shaggy Dan, Evidence, under Chris. Evidence actually pushing Shaggy Dan slightly to the side. Going 2 wide into first corner. Actually, Shaggy Dan going... Evidence pushing him hard from behind. Eidolon. I have to go on the roof here to see what's going on with Evidence at the front. I believe Shaggy Dan might have had a small incident with one of the Ferraris. A little bit of a tap. It seems Evidence is on the attack for the Chris. And I believe further back in the field we have a battle between Dan Shanker and Jay. The big Bentley against the small Audi. Actually, all 2 wide into that corner. I can't really tell which corner it is. And Dan Shanker, a proven battle combatant in the further up in the series. Actually, look, as we can see, is it Dawu? In the yellow... it's actually Shooter, okay, yeah, so it's Shooter. And we, as you actually can see now, Shooter, Shaggy Dan, excuse me, going into 9th, 2 wide again. Really aggressive driving from Shaggy Dan there. Eidolon actually side by side with their Chris. Have a lot of 2x2 action, almost 3, might be 3 wide actually, into turn 1. Will this... Sorry about that. Just want to go on the roof to see. Wow. Some really hefty battles between Shooter, Der Chris and Eidolon here. Shaggy Dan actually managing to pull up into 8th place, leaving that battle behind him. That's really good for him. Have to catch up with the battle here, as we can see. Eidolon and Der Chris still fighting it out in 10th. Actually, a lot of battles going through the field. I believe Chabas was just passed by Dakusa. Chabas might want to attack to get this position back. Actually, Dakusa going aggressive against Dawu, looking on the inside, might actually have tapped him a little bit there. And as we can see on the minimap, we can see Ironic just so far up ahead. He has increased the gap to 3.5 seconds after 2 or 3. Actually, 3 laps actually. He is just off. Hopefully he manages to keep it together. Let's go back and look at the battle between the midfield here. As we can see, Chabas still on Dakusa, still actually looking on the inside, wanting his place back. Oh, I believe that was Dawu. Dawu has spun it. I don't know if it was contact. Let's check his car and see if he has any damage. He appears to be fine, so he won't be needing to pit. Actually, Borat is going for Dakusa right here, and and Chabas in the front. There's a battle, actually a 4 or 5 way battle going in the back here. Actually, it seems like we're having a battle between Bo and Turing right here. Turing managing to stay high up in the positions. This is, if Turing can finish in 3rd position, that's gonna boost his points to massively. Might put him in place for a 4th or 5th position. Let's check his standing. Turing is in 13th place, so that's gonna boost his points massively. Bo is still attacking him though. Turing must feel it, seeing that Ferrari just closing up to you every braking zone, trying to make you make a mistake. Let's have a quick gander back in the Dakusa, Baratis and Chabas battle is still going on. With the Baratis in the Porsche. Actually, Dakusa going wide, letting Baratis pass as he couldn't let the power down. I see a Ferrari going wide there. It was the Genius, I believe. Actually, WMD Martin looking on the inside of Dakusa there, not really. Oh no, I believe Dakusa has gone off. That might even put him... I think he's gonna be able to hold 18th position. And there we have Dawu who went off. And then of course Lusty in last as he had to pit. Hopefully that's a bug. I have experienced having a bug where I can see damage where it shouldn't be any damage. So hopefully that's not real damage that he's got right there. So let's go back to the Howie Baratis. Actually, I didn't really pay attention as to where Howie qualified, so... Actually, there Chris getting a penalty now. Let's check what it is. It's a 1 second penalty. Actually, Turing is really close to Scott here. What is going in? That's Bo on the outside. Let's go on board with John to see what's going on. Actually, not in view there. Turing batting with Bo on the outside. Boat catch actually on the outside of Turing. Oh, Turing going wide. Might lose some speed. Hard braking. Turing going on the inside. Actually managing to keep it together. That was really smooth. This is really benefiting Scott as he's just blasting off in the Ferrari, I mean the BMW. And we are approaching yellow zone. I couldn't really see where what the yellow zone was about, but I can see that Chabas and the WMDR Martin is fighting, so let's check back on them and to see how it's going for them. Actually, we can see Baratis in the Porsche pushing hard against S4 Howie and Nanshanker, as he has been for the last laps. Oh, actually, we can see there Chris got... that's not there Chris, sorry. That's Howie in the Ferrari, going on the inside of Nanshanker, managing to pass him on the inside, being a bit loose on exit. I think Nanshanker has the better... Oh, Jesus, I think we might have some 2x2 action into this corner. S4 Howie still on the outside of the Nanshanker there, and Baratis contact with the WMDR Martin. Must be hard, actually, as for Howie, so far up into Baratis' rear end now. Must getting a lot of dirty air through there and a lot of slipstream, so S4 might catch him on the straights, but of course the Bentley has a lot of power, so... Actually, Chabas going on the outside of Baratis. Will he be able to pass? No, he was just looking outside him, making Baratis a bit nervous. Oh, going on the outside of Baratis there. Yeah, Baratis might have to mount the defensive line now to defend against Chabas, putting on this pressure. Yeah, and still, of course, Baratis attacking S4, so this is a 4 or maybe even a 5-way battle soon. And I believe Turing and Bo, yeah, the guys are still in the same position. Baratis going a little bit wider. Chabas wanting to look on the inside, might have a better drive off that turn. Yes, actually Chabas on the inside. Will he be able to outbrake Baratis? Baratis braking hard, actually managing to keep it together. As I mentioned, the guys are having some trouble with the brake markers on this track because they're a bit hard to see. Oh no, Chabas getting hit by WMDR Martin on the inside. Probably WMDR Martin missing one of those brake markers. As I mentioned, they are really hard to see on this track. And I believe we have a really close battle with Bo and Turing, it seems, as Bo is on Turing's rear bumper, and if I'm not mistaken, I might be, I think Turing actually managed to keep or retake his third position. Actually, Turing actually now attacking Scott. Scott has lost a little bit of pace, so Turing has managed to close the gap on him. As we can see, Turing actually pushing Scott there. Oh no, we have an incident. That's gonna be big. Scott having damage from... Where is he? He's in 5th. He managed to get out on track pretty quickly there. Getting damage from Turing, or... it happened so fast I couldn't really see if it was the Ferrari. Yeah, Scott might actually be incensed now as he starts pushing against Bo there. Not letting any pressure off. And ironic, as mentioned earlier, as we can see on the map, he is in front, I mean the front. Excuse me English guys. He is in front with a gap of 11.8 seconds. That's just massive. When he goes alone, he's really consistent, and we have a Ferrari going wide. I believe it is Bo going on the inside of Marvin. And Marvin actually oh no, Turing has spun it. Oh no, he has lost it in turn 1. Will he be able to re-enter the track safely? Shagdan going wide to not hit him. That's really unfortunate for Turing, putting up a really good fight in 3rd and 4th position. As we can see, Scott just almost mounted himself to the rear bumper of Bo right there. The Kusa and WMDR Martin seems to be having a battle in the rear of the field, so I think we're gonna check on them. Actually no, we're gonna check on as for Howie and Boratis, as it seems like they were really close in time. Yeah, that battle is actually still going with Chabas with in the Renault with WMDR Martin in the BMW behind. Has any of them got some damage is the question, and I believe Takusa, there's a BMW there. Is it, I need to check who it was. Oh, it is the WMDR Martin going on the inside of the Chapas. That's a really bad camera angle. Yeah, battling it out side by side into the turns. WMDR Martin taking the inside line. Will he be able to outbrake him? Yes, he will. WMDR Martin passing Chapas there. And there we have Boratis going out, looking on the outside of Nanshanker. No, he's just making him sweat. And then we have Howie in the in the Ferrari three-way battle going hard. Actually, it looked like Chabas was gonna make a move there. Borat is so close to Nanshanker there, giving him a little tap as Howie outbraked himself. I believe the next turn, the one after the next slight bend in this track, is gonna be the brutal left-hander, which is over 90-degree turn, so maybe he's gonna make a move there. No, just actually pushing Nanshanker into the corner, it seems. Borat is going on the outside. Yes, I believe that's outside. Yes, it is. Oh, being caught by Nunchaker on the inside, outbreaking himself a little bit. Will he be able to catch him on the straight? This is a really important corner coming up to the longest straight as Boratis just goes on the inside, letting Nunchaker go behind him as I... Oh, Chabas actually tossing it, losing it. I don't know if he got tapped or anything. Hopefully it wasn't an incident with another car. And he's reversing to go into the pits. I'm so sorry for you, Chabas. That's just brutal. After that, such a nice overtake. Seems like Lusty might be able to contend for 19th place, as he is most probably gonna catch Chabas in the pits. Not changing tires, only repairing. Have to go back to the battles as S4 is attacking Nunchaker on the inside actually. Actually no, we have a huge incident. Boratis and Akusa and Dawu, Boratis, everyone involved, Nunchaker also. That's gonna put a fair few of aerodynamic damage points to their cars, making them slower. Can't really see that much damage, so hopefully the guys are fine. Okay, let's check out Boratis. He seems like his front bumper is a little bit off to the... has some damage, so he might have lost a lot of some front downforce. Hopefully it's not gonna mean too much for him as he passes Eidolon, going probably outbreaking himself. Let's see, yes, Lusty managing to catch Chabas as Chabas coming out of the pits now. Repaired car, everything's... I don't think he changed his tires, so should now be able to maybe catch up. I think that he is lapped. Those are lapping cars behind. Ironic actually catching up to... Was it Marvin I was talking about? I believe I saw a Renault in front of... Okay, I believe it's Marvin. Yes, it is Marvin, indeed. Marvin keeping fourth. This is gonna be huge for the Renault team in the team championship. The Renaults of Marvin and Ironic. Ironic in first and Marvin in fourth. If they can finish in these positions, it's gonna be huge for them to maybe catch the BMWs of Scott and I can't really remember Scott's teammate off the top of my head. Let's check back on Nunchaker and the boys. It seems like that little incident there split them a little bit, so we might see some an incident reported to the stewards afterwards on the forum. Couldn't really tell what happened there. Seems like Jay in the Audi in ninth place is catching up to Shooter, it seems. So let's just follow him for a while. Read chat. No, unfortunately, David Ben, we can't see the tires they're running. Yeah, the guy races quite down a little bit. As I say that, I think we actually might have a battle on our hands with Nunchaker and S4, and all the boys seem to have split up a little bit, fighting so hard for 10 laps. Shaggy Dan, as we were talking about, in 7th position. This guy went from 11th, qualified 11th, went from 11th into 7th, and he is a fast driver, so he might actually be able to catch the gap to Touring. Turing actually going on the inside of Evidence there. Let's see if he can make it. Braking hard. Turing tapping into him on the side. Yeah, Evidence and Turing having a little incident there. Might be Turing outbraking himself. As Evidence turned in. Yeah, Turing just going hard at it again with... Oh, almost hitting Evidence again there. Going on the inside a little bit early so that Evidence has to look at him in these rearview mirrors. Yeah, Turing just drafting him so hard now, trying to catch a little bit of pace. Losing a little bit of downforce because of slipstreaming there, so... Yeah, actually the Evidence managing to defend against Turing. And it seems like we have a battle on our hands with Bo in third place, wanting to pass Scott, and this might be a chance for us to see Scott's fantastic defensive driving. So, if I'm correct, we might see Scott going for the inside line, and we see that Scott going for the inside line, shutting the door on Bo. This is where Scott really shines. It's really hard to pass him, and Bo actually getting a really good drive of the first turn. We'll go on board with... Oh no! Almost contact with Scott there. Let's go on board with Marvin to see... Meanwhile, I just noticed that Ironic has actually increased the gap to Scott by 22. Actually, the gap is now 22 seconds. It's just a massive lead for Ironic right now. Ironic is safe in this race unless he manages to put it in the wall and having to pit or something like that. Yeah. Bo charging hard against Scott. Scott with his fantastic defensive driving, and here we see we can go on board actually with Bo as he tries to overtake Scott. So we might see some of Scott's defensive driving better from this angle. Scott not going for the defensive line there. Hopefully getting a good drive of the... Actually, Bo is so close to him, he can get a really good slipstream here. Maybe pass him because of the draft. Oh no, I was completely wrong. BMW is really strong on the straight, big engine. Yeah, Bo just pressuring Scott, but Scott is so disciplined and consistent, so he has been through this before. Check chat for a second. If there's anything you want to know, guys, like standings in the championship or whatever, just ask in the chat. I'll gladly give you the information. As Scott going a little bit loose, Bo managing to close the gap. So behind, looking on the inside of Scott. Scott in the defensive line as he uses closing the door on Bo. Bo can't turn in to go on the inside. Really nice by Scott there. Scott is just an inspiration when it comes to defensive driving. Really impressive. Bo just smashing the brakes as soon as he sees Scott doing the same. Oh, so close to him right now. Seems like actually Scott has some better drive through there. Bo might actually have some trouble coming down on the straight again. He's actually closer now to Scott. Might actually I think he got on power earlier, so this might be Bo's opportunity to go on the inside of Scott. Let's go to the trackside camera and see. Yeah, Scott on the inside defensive line, closing the door on Bo again. Just really impressive stuff coming from Scott here. Yeah, absolutely incredible as Marvin joins the fight. Almost tapping Bo in the rear. Here they come through the first sector. Bo just pushing as hard as he can now. Marvin going a little bit wide there, losing a bit of pace. I think we'll go back for a slight second to check on Bratis and Eidolon, as I believe they're fighting. Bratis catching up to Eidolon. Yes, let's go on board with Bratis now, actually so far up to Eidolon. Yeah, both of those cars sound amazing, so this is a treat. Yeah, let's go back to Bo now. Yeah, Scott's just keeping it together. Takusa having a battle with Dawu, it seems. We'll check on it just after the straight. It seems Bo won't be able to catch up to Scott, as Scott got a really good drive off that last turn for the straight. Oh, actually Bo catching up to him under braking. It's unbelievable how well actually Bo keeping it together. How he is keeping it together this well. He has some slight aero damage. I don't know if it's from the bug for me or and without the downforce from the dirty air coming from Scott's BMW. It's incredible how he manages to catch up like this and keep wing with him in the corners. Oh, actually going on the inside of Scott there, making Scott going a little bit wide, having some understeer. Might have outbraked himself as well. Yeah, Scott under constant pressure from Bo. Yeah, Bo just weaving behind Scott now. Scott taking the defensive line, as we can see. Yeah, it's so hard to pass this big BMW. Driving so well. I'm so sorry for that, Mike Boom. Sorry. Oh, Bo. I believe they actually got on the accelerator at the exact same time, so I think the BMW is going to push off a little bit. It seems like Scott going for the inside line again. His defensive driving, closing the door on Bo again. Bo, go! Bo just pushing as hard as he can to not let Scott get any pace from him. Let's go to the trackside camera and see what this looks like from the cameras. I believe Dakusa might be passing Dawu here? No. Hopefully it's a bug, but it seems like Dawu had some front damage, so hopefully that's just a bug for me and his car is fine. Dawu, being a driver that prioritizes consistency in his driving setup over speed, so being really consistent. Yeah, we need to check back on... Let's actually check on Eidolon with Baratis. Eidolon having the incident with Baratis, I believe. Can't remember whether there was an incident with one of the guys in the back. Yeah, it seems like Eidolon and Baratis are just fighting it out. We are now halfway through the race. We have to check back on Bo. Yes, Bo is just still on Scott's tail here. Scott driving defensively as always. Oh, actually Bot getting a Bo. Let's go on board with him. Almost seemed like he hit him from behind there. Oh, no evidence. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's so unfortunate. So evidence was one of the Ferraris. now taken out of the race. That's so unfortunate. Okay, so the commentators, it's me. I actually had the co-commentator, but he has to work, so he has to work the rest of the season, so it's just for me now, just me for now. I am looking for a co-commentator though, so if you know someone that would like to, please contact me, or yeah, let's talk to us on the forum. That would be great. Has Dakusa caught up with Dawu? Let's go to the trackside and check with Dakusa. Yeah, Dawu managing to keep it together, as Dakusa might be closing the gap. As it, if Dawu has some front damage, as it seems like it does, Dakusa might be able to catch up with him. And it seems like we have a three-way battle again with Nanshenker, Idle and Nanshenker. Did I just... yeah. Eidolon pushing Baratis. Baratis going a bit wider. That's gonna give Eidolon a chance. On this next turn, let's go on board with them. Having a bit of understeer there. Yeah, Baratis is just off. When that Porsche just gets his front wheel straight, that he is just off. Yeah, let's go back and check with Bo and Scott. Actually, no, let's check on Baratis, catching up to Nanshenker here. Is he gonna go on the outside? He's really close, he's going on the inside. Will he be able to outbrake Dakusa, I mean? Actually going a little bit wider. Is Dakusa going on the inside? I can't tell. Yeah, Dakusa... actually, Eidolon sneaking through there. Wow. Smooth move by Eidolon there. I didn't catch what he did because we were on board with Dakusa. I mean, Baratis. That's actually really smooth by him. Baratis might be incensed at Eidolon now, as he pushes to catch up to him again, wanting his place back. Actually, it seems like Baratis might have just tapped Eidolon in the back. Oh no. John, have you retired? Actually, John, I didn't realize that you had to leave and... oh. Okay. What happened to you, John? Let's check back on Dakusa in front here with Dawu. Dawu going on the extremely defensive line through the finish straight. Dakusa going on the inside. Actually, Dawu blocking him a little bit there. Dakusa tapping Dawu on the inside. Too wide in the first corner. Tapped by Dawu. Wow, that was some questionable defensive driving by Dawu there, in my opinion. Dakusa still pushing to catch up to him. I'm a little bit confused now by the time, so I think Bo might actually have caught up to Scott again, being really close. Let's check on him. Yeah, he's still on Scott's Scott's rear end. Scott not opting for the defensive line there, going for the normal braking zone, with Bo just so close to him. Bo looking on the inside, wanting Scott to field it. Whoa, whoa. I'm sorry guys, I'm reading chat. So, John Beauregard actually retiring. That's gonna be a little bit of an upset in the standings. as he is in 5th place currently, and that's gonna move Shaggy Dan up to... Hold up, where is Shaggy Dan? He is in 5th. So that's gonna bump Shaggy Dan up to 5th position. Where is Lusty? Lusty in 18th place. That's actually this might actually be where Shaggy Dan gets a 2-in-1 and manages to grab 4th place. So Shaggy Dan might be able to move up to 4th place in the tournament, maybe even 3rd if Nogrom, which isn't racing. Bo looking on the inside. I mean, he's not looking on the inside. It's rather Scott driving defensively, as we can see, closing the door on Scott. Bo, I mean, every time Bo just pushing Scott now as hard as he can. Must be really frustrated that he can't pass his BMW now. Yeah, Scott driving so defensively, so beautifully. Wow, Scott actually going a little bit loose there, so Bo having a little bit of understeer, so I think it's... Let's see how this goes. This is the last part. I believe he's in the guys are in sector 2 right now. They're gonna reach sector 3, and that's when you might see a passing move. Actually, might see a passing move here as Bo being held back by Scott. When Scott going for the inside line, Bo just goes up into his rear bumper, pushing him, so to let him know that he's serious. He wants to pass, and this is the corner where he can pass. So this, Scott getting on the power earlier, it seems, but Bo on the inside. Scott going for the defensive line. Might be a little bit of blocking action there, as Bo is actually on the inside of Scott. Let's go on the trackside camera. Bo on the inside. Will he be able to go? Scott. Oh no. I don't know if it was a little bit of lag, and Bo actually passes Scott. That's a momentous achievement for Bo. And now we can see Scott just turning on the Gladiator look as he just pushes Bo. Not only is Scott a really good defensive driver, he's a really good aggressive driver as well, so this is gonna be exciting. And Bo Scott getting really tail happy there. Looking, pushing Scott. I mean, Bo. Actually, Marvin catching up to them because of the fighting between Bo and Scott. Let's go on board with Scott there, so you can see it's just filled with Bo's rear bumper. And as I talked about, this is a good passing corner as Scott catches up to Bo in mid-corner. Will he get a good drive off this turn? Yeah, Bo just actually keeping it together now. So this might be it when Scott actually takes back 2nd position from Bo on the straight. Will he get a good drive? Actually getting a little bit of oversteer there, so Bo getting the drive. Bo going on the grass though. Scott catching up to him. Going on the inside. Wow, this is intense. And it seems because of this battling, it seems like the 5th and 4th position has caught up to Marvin and the guys. So we might actually have a 3-way battle here soon between Marvin, Scott and Bo. Wow. Scott managing to get on the power early, slipstreaming Bo right now. We will go on the inside for this corner. This is a really brutal corner, more than 90 degrees to the left. He goes on the inside. Will he be able to outbrake Bo? Yes, he will. We'll go to the trackside camera. He's on the inside. Scott Bow actually being forced out onto the grass. There's Shaggy Dan also on the grass. Actually, Scott actually passes and reclaims the second position from Bow. Not only a fantastic defensive driver, but also a fantastic offensive driver. Hopefully you'll excuse me if I mix in some Norwegian words in there. Yeah, now we have we're back again to the Bow just pushing really hard now to get up to Scott again. Must be so frustrating to have the position taken back from you so fast after fighting so hard to get it. Actually, Bow braking really late, almost crashing into Scott there. Let's check on Marvin and see where he is. Actually, Marvin now has caught up to Bow. Shaggy Dan has moved up from 7th position, past both Jay and Turing, it seems. Yeah, Marvin is gonna have to push really, really hard now to keep up with Bow and Scott. If Bow and Scott start fighting even harder though, that's gonna be really good for Marvin. As we actually saw with Eidolon passing both Baratis and Nanshenkaro or Dakusa, I can't remember. A really smooth move by him. And Ironic has just had a peaceful race. He's passed some back markers, it seems. Where is he? There he is. He has passed some back markers. I believe that's Boratis in the Porsche. So he has passed up to 13th place. I mean, he has lapped up to 13th place. And is catching Dakusa. Just incredible drive from Ironic coming out again. When this guy gets let loose on his own, he's just off. Actually going... maybe pushing a little bit too hard, getting a bit cocky with his position. Fantastic drive, Ironic. Let's check back on Bow and Scott again. Actually, Marvin going a little bit, cutting the corner a little bit too wide, much there I think, and it's actually Shaggy Dan catching up to him. If Shaggy Dan can catch up to 4th place and finish in 4th, or yeah, even finishing in 4th, that's probably gonna put him in 3rd or 4th in the championship. Actually, Shaggy Dan going on the inside, looking on the inside of Marvin there, trying to make him a bit nervous, make a mistake. Shaggy Dan having a loose rear end there. Turing capitalizing on that opportunity, just catching up to Shaggy Dan, drafting him as much as he can. Shaggy Dan with a slightly defensive line. I believe we might have contact between Shaggy Dan and Turing there. Oh, I did not mean to do that. There we go. Managed to save it. Oh, actually Turing going on the inside of Shaggy Dan there, as Shaggy Dan... yeah, Turing going a little bit too wide, touching the grass. It's just so hard to get the car to turn in again to the track when you're on the grass, because when you try to turn into the track, that's gonna move the weight of the car onto the wheel that's on the grass, so that's just gonna make it even harder to turn. So might be need to be careful when on the grass. Yeah, Turing losing a little bit of pace from Shaggy Dan there. Let's check on... I believe there's a tight... oh no! Marvin has actually gone too wide, and Turing has as well. I believe Turing will give his position back to Marvin. Marvin actually losing 4th position now, so Shaggy Dan actually in a really good position if he can manage to finish in this position. That's gonna be great for him in the championship. Might get on the podium. Just to remind you, Shaggy Dan is in 6th in the championship. The guy in front of him in 5th place is John Beauregard, and John Beauregard has retired from this race. And in front of him again, in 4th place, We have Lusty, which had an incident in the start of the race, so he's in 17th position, as we can see here. Where is... There he is. Yeah, so Lusty, he might actually be able to catch like 3 or actually at least 2 positions in this race, in the Driver Championship. I was talking about Lusty, which is in 4th in the Driver Championship right now. And then we have Nagrom, which isn't in this race. So this is going to be great for him, if he can finish in 4th. But of course Touring behind him, and Touring seems to be a really aggressive driver. He will not let he will drive straight behind you if he gets the chance to push you. And I believe we have a 3-way battle with Nanchanker and Lusty. Let's go check it out. Actually no, let's go back. I'm sorry, actually Shagadan going a little bit wider. Let's go on board with Touring, catching a little bit of pace against Shagadan. Shagadan going on the defensive line as Touring can't pass him when Shagadan just fills his windshield. I believe Marvin might be able to play around this as well. Yeah, Marvin's not so far behind Touring. Let's go on board with Touring again. Shagadan taking the defensive lines, because they don't want Touring blasting off on his inside. I'm really sorry, I did not mean to make that sound so dirty. I just really want to check back. Oh, actually Shagadan going a little bit wider, so Touring getting on the gas earlier than Shagadan. Shagadan going on the defensive line, almost even crossing the pit exit border. Oh, Shagadan, Touring braking really hard. Let's go to trackside camera. 2x2 in the first corner. Almost 2x2, I mean. Touring so close to Shagadan right there. Wow, Shagadan managing to just get in position for braking. Touring outbraking himself, almost hitting Shagadan. Now his lights come on. That's gonna be even more unnerving for Shagadan, seeing those headlights in the rear, and oh my days. As both of them getting Touring giving him a little flash. Both of them going a little bit wide there. Shagadan probably having some understeer. Touring almost hitting Shagadan. And this is the place where I'm talking about overtaking, as we have 2 right-handers now coming up. Touring lost a little bit of pace to Shagadan, it seems there, so maybe he's gonna catch it up in the braking. Shagadan having some understeer. Yeah, Shagadan on the power now. BMW, big engine, and he's off. Will he be able to get a better drive than Shagadan on the straight? Touring actually on the gas earlier than Shagadan again. Shagadan going on the inside. Excuse my pit marker. Yeah, Shagadan going really wide actually. Let's see if Touring... Yeah, just closing the door, and Touring, oh, so close to Shagadan right now. Drafting him really closely. Touring going... my days, it's so intense. Touring looking on the inside of Shagadan. Shagadan not taking the defensive line. Shagadan going wide. That's gonna make him lose pace. And Touring actually takes Shagadan's position in 4th. So that will maybe jeopardize Shagadan's chances of becoming a podium driver in the Driver Championship after this round. Beautiful overtake by Touring. Intense battles on the straight. Very cool. Let's catch up with Bo and Scott again and see how that looks. Yeah, Scott and Bo in the infinite battle for 2nd and 3rd. That's something that's so frustrating with Scott, is just he's so good at defending from you, I mean. So he will not let you pass for like 10 laps, and when you actually pass him, actually it seems like Scott went really far left there. Yeah, he goes on the inside again. as I was talking about, Scott being such a good defensive driver, when you actually pass him after 10 laps, he's just so good at fighting. He might even catch you on the next 3 laps again, so that's gonna be, that should be so frustrating. I know I would be so frustrated. Let's catch up with Shagadan and Turing again. It's actually hopefully that was lag. Looking like Shagadan had an issue with his car there, rustling about. Oh, Turing locking up, going a little bit wide. Shagadan going wide as well. Marvin keeping it clean. Actually, Lusty, which had to pit early because of damage, has now moved up to 15th position. That's really impressive. Catching up so many positions after even being lapped by them because of having to pit for damage. That's very good. Actually, let's go check on... Oh, Shagadan locking up a little bit, I think. Or it was Turing. Yeah, let's go check on... let's go check on Lusty and Landschenker and Eidolon. Coming up to the first corner, double right-hander. Actually, Lusty got getting a little bit of damage. I don't know if it's a bug on my end or... Yep. Actually, there Chris, or I mean WMDR Martin, getting a 2-second penalty right now. That's gonna... Where is he? WMDR Martin. That's actually gonna... that might put him in 9th position. If their Chris manages to close the gap to him. Actually, I believe Howie was just passed, or no. It was my exclamation mark. Yeah, going back to Lusty, challenging Eidolon. Eidolon having a really clean car. It looks like he doesn't have any damage, so Lusty might have a challenge passing Eidolon with his damaged car. Actually, Lusty going on the inside of Eidolon there. Oh, there, yeah, Lusty managing to take 14th position. Borutis up next in the Porsche. Eidolon though not giving up. Let's check chat this for a second. ADAs, I'm gonna try to answer your question. The 3rd place guy is not in this race, no, that's correct. Oh, actually Bratis... Lusty actually passing Bratis while I was checking. Wow. Eidolon and Bratis. Eidolon might actually be able to catch Bratis here. Bratis almost losing 2 positions here. Seems like Bratis might have had some sort of damage as 2 cars are catching up to him. Let's go on board with Eidolon here, and actually Bratis so close to Lusty as well. So Eidolon might actually be trying to aim for going a bit too far off, might lose some speed there. Eidolon might want to aim for consistency now and watch as Boratis makes Lusty go slower, and he might be able to capitalize on that battle. Actually, this... Yes, actually Eidolon losing a lot of pace now. Don't know what happened there, might be late on the throttle. And let's see, Boratis going on the straight now. Yeah, that's some BMW power right there. Actually increasing the gap from Bratis. In the Porsche. Oh, actually Lusty having some understeer it seems. And we are 3 laps down from the race stop, so let's catch up with Bo and Scott again and see how the battle actually, as Scott is on the inside defending as usual. Bo, look, actually weaving back and forth. Really impressive play there, and Bo actually pushing Scott there. Might give him some extra pace actually. Let's go on board with Bo right now. Excuse my Discord sounds, by the way. Wow, really, really impressive defensive driving by Scott, as previously mentioned. Actually, Bo managing to catch up to Scott there, getting on the power a bit early. Catching up to S3 now. Sector 3, which has a lot of passing opportunities, as we've seen. Let's see if Bo can get on the power here now. No, Scott's actually a bit too far in front, I think, for Scott to me. I'm sorry, mixing names now. Scott going a little bit wide, Bo looking on the inside. Yeah, but Scott getting on the power early, managing to keep the gap. And Bo wanting to get on the power early, gets on the power really early. Scott going on for the defensive line again. Scott feeling that he's so far behind that it doesn't need to go for the defensive line. Oh no, we have a crashed Ferrari. I believe it is Jay. No, he's in the Audi. I need to find out who that is. Is it the Genius? I believe it is the Genius. That's really unfortunate for him. Might even be... No, I don't think he's going to be caught up by Chabas in 19th position. The Genius catching some area damage there. And now let's watch the final race. The battle for second position. The final race, I say. I mean the two last laps for final position. Oh, damn it. I mean the battle for second and third position between Bo and Scott. This is gonna be amazing. Maybe Bo might be so hot under the collar now that he might actually be able to push a little bit harder and catch up to Scott, as Scott increasing the gap a little bit. Let's check chat fast. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the last lap of the race with a hefty battle for second place with Bo and Scott. Scott going for the defensive line there. Oh, Bo catching so far up to him now. Gonna have a really good draft on Scott now. This is a hard corner. You need some high speed downforce there. Actually, Scott going for the defensive line, closing the door on Bo. Yeah, Bo not being able to turn in as much as he wanted because of Scott. So this lap, last lap, might be testament to. Actually, I think I might have made a miss. Yeah, there we have it. Scott, actually, ironic. I'm sorry, I missed your. I missed it. I'm really sorry. You're passing the start-finish line with a 44-second gap to second position. That's just amazing, dude. Congratulations. And please move out of the way for the stragglers. Let's get up to Bo again now with Scott, of course. Scott taking the defensive lines every time, and they are in sector 3 now, so this is gonna be opportunity for Bo now. Will Bo go on the inside? Scott probably going to go for the defensive line through the last corner before the start-finish straight. Oh, this is gonna be close. Bo getting on the power really early. It's flashing Scott. And I believe we have Scott and Bo actually finishing with their lights flashing. Congratulations, guys. What an amazing battle you have through the race. Really good racing. Congratulations. And there we have Turing finishing in 4th. Congratulations, Turing. this is certainly gonna put you up there in the points. And Shagedan, of course, congratulations to you as well. It's gonna be interesting to see if you actually manage to finish up in the if this 5th position is putting you in 3rd or I mean 4th or even 3rd place. Then we have Marvin and Ironic. Actually, the 2 Renaults finishing far up in the positions. That's gonna put the Renaults back into a high point score. So to demonstrate what I'm talking about, I need to check the positions first. Okay, so actually J Cool finishing is 7th, I believe. That's is that his highest finish? Let's check. He does not show up on my scoreboard, unfortunately. So I'm gonna save that replay if I can. Yeah, Chabas and the Genius having some incidents, I believe. And Baratis and as for Howie, Eidolon and Nanchanker. I believe maybe Dakusa and Lusty were... Lusty was not... There was a huge incident with like 5 cars. So we might see a steward's increment there on the forums. Now to go back to the scoreboard. Let me just check. Yeah, so this is gonna be it's gonna be a little bit low projection value. I'm sorry, but we have to deal with screen cap this time. So as I was talking about, Shaggy Dan in 6th position. Here we have him. He has 107 points. John Beauregard, who had to retire, so he will get a did not finish here. Lusty finishing in 15th. Yeah, Lusty finishing in 15th, and Nogrom, which didn't contend in this race. So I don't think it's gonna be enough to put Shagadan in 3rd place, but maybe 4th. So congrats, Shagadan, you're now really close to the 3rd place. And Dawu actually, which I can't see. I didn't catch where Dawu finished, so I don't think Dawu finished so high up. So I believe Marvin actually might move up a fair few places, maybe to 8th, and then of course, with this race we had Ironic, which finished in 1st, and Scott in 2nd. Where is the driver championship? There we go. So Scott has 212 points, and Ironic has 181. So that actually might be enough for Ironic to be close enough to Scott to overtake him again. It's going to be interesting. This has really shaken up the scoreboard. Nagrom not competing in this race. Lusty finishing further back. John Beauregard not having to retire. Ironic finishing 1st this race with his teammate Marvin. As you can see, they both have they are in the same team, Oscaro Esports. They are in 2nd position behind the BMWs of Scott and Lusty. So with Scott finishing 2nd place, that's gonna score a lot of championship points for the BMWs. However, with Lusty finishing in 15th, that actually might put them a little bit further down than they want. So I think Ironic and Marvin is going to catch up a lot of points now. So they might even be, if they manage to keep the fight up and be consistent in the last rounds, they might be able to catch this 1st place from the BMWs. And then we have the 3rd place, which is a bit far behind, 72 points behind the 2nd place. I mean the 1st place, 148. It is Dawu, I believe, and Shooter, and I didn't catch where they finished, so I'm not quite sure where they're going to be in terms of team standings. And the Velocita Corsa, the only guy that raced tonight in Velocita Corsa was Shaggy Dan with his teammate not racing, which is his teammate is Clown. It's gonna be really hard for them to be competitive. Actually, I might be kidding you right now, as I believe I need to check. WMDR Martin, who races, WMDR Martin with their Chris, the teammates for Team Pad Power Racing, the Pad Racers. Really impressive that you managed to keep it together like you do with those pads. And the Brow Welt Racing. Yeah, that's Rassap, and he has actually, when he has quit the league because of some stability issues, and that's really unfortunate, as he was a really fast driver. To catch up with the rest, we have the Porsches in 7th place with Boratis at least, and his teammate, which I don't think turned up today, as I believe Boratis was the only Porsche. Service Guide Racing with Ricky that has work commitments, and there we have another Porsche team. Might be some solo teams, that does not make sense at all. Right, so I thought the two Audis were in the same team. Let's check. Turing is in. Turing is a solo driver. Afterleth, he did not contend in this race, I think. So I believe the battle into the team championship is going to be between the BMWs of Scott and Lusty, and Marvin and Ironic in the Renaults. Be interesting to see what the standings turn out to be, and see if the Renaults catch up to the BMW guys. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. It was a lot of fun to cast this. I hope to see you come back again. The next race is gonna be let me put up the calendar. There it is. We have now passed round 7, so round 8 is going to be 18th of April, and we're going to be at Solder. I really hope to see you back again at the Wednesday. Yeah, I think that's it, boys. Thanks for watching, and hope you'll enjoy watching it back. See ya later.